the back of the joint. So this is about him to like start getting the reamer. This is just like the cage, basically the contraption, if you will, that he has to put on to do the ankle replacement, because we need to make sure that when you're replacing things, you are putting in for rotation, your alignment, everything. You've had your knee replaced, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it has to fit you. It's custom.
Right.
So now, actually, let me go back a couple here. So this is him basically measuring. So these are kind of like the pre-things. This is how he was used to cut it. So you'll notice this is the top of your tibia. Before you had bone there, right? He had to cut part out to allow for the components to seat in here. And then this is for the talar component here. So you can already see like he was already cutting the bone off. And now this is the tibial component, which you'll notice this dark gray material here is cement. So he cements that component in. The one below it, he doesn't really need to.
Because it just grows
So
in.
we're in this bone.
So we're in that joint.
Right in there.
We're in the tibiotalar joint. So now here's the final product. And then he put back your fibula, so he put the plate and screws, now the fibula is fixed.
Okay.
Now, he probably moved to the subtalar joint. So, here is where your subtalar joint was. So we had to get rid of any remaining cartilage in that joint. And then he basically puts those screws up through the back of the heel, which is why you have those incisions there.
Screw holes.
So right up through
there,
here.
that's
So
what
it
those-
literally,
And into
correct.
this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then so it goes through that joint.
Okay.
So you have
Cool.
2, I believe. Yeah. So one of them's, I think they're both fully threaded screws as well. Yeah. So one, he just took a different approach. The other one is going through the heel. And then there is a spacer that goes between the components so that the ankle glides nicely, basically. And then this is final fluoro shots that he was probably taking just to look at everything. And this is probably your, him dorsiflexing your ankle because he wants to make sure that there's nothing pinching in the front.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't it
right
amazing?
there.
Yeah.
It's
In 1958, I broke my leg. I got a plate right there, and the bone has grown all the way over the top of it.
Oh, really?
she took that in the archaeology part of her studies.
Yeah.
When I had an X-ray for something I can't remember, the bone has totally closed over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he said he used bone graft. So I'm trying to see, because we take bone graft from multiple different places. I'm wondering.
I think he took it from me.
Yeah, he did. He said he used local, but I think, he said when they were doing part for the ankle replacement, he used bone from that to put and grafted that in your subtalar joint.
Right.
Yeah. But sometimes we take it from the proximal tibia, which we couldn't for you because you had your knee replaced. And then sometimes we'll take it from the iliac crest if we need to. But he probably felt like he got enough from that.
What he and I chatted about that one
Yeah.
a little bit at the time, and he said
Yeah.
he got enough and didn't
Yeah.
have to go.
Perfect.
to it.
Yeah, I mean, not that, like, I mean, we do it, but it does add a little, it's a little bit more.
So do I get a discount?
Do you get a discount? You can ask him. Yeah, no, and that's even not his, it's out of his pay grade. That's not his control. That's whoever's
I don't
control.
think he charges enough, personally, but that's okay.
Well, do you have Medicare?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they cover,
I
didn't they
don't
cover
know. I don't
pretty
even
much,
know.
yeah?
I'll get the bad news later.
Okay.
I had a lot of zeros, paying 0 on my bill that I got, so.
Well, that's good. And if you get if you're not happy with what you see, then you just sit down, you put a beer in your hand, and then you just think about it later. Yeah. 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 So, so when we see you back in about 3 weeks from
3
now,
weeks.
or sorry, 2, 3
3 and a half, I think.
3 and a half.
August 8th.
Okay, yeah.
And
We'll get
all of
x-rays.
these parts stay in forever.
So yes, like the screws that he put for the subtalar fusion, I don't think those will ever bother you. Now the incision on the back of the heel, because it's a pressure point, can be a little uncomfortable. So when you're in the cast, I mean, you can't obviously take it off, but try to prop pillows underneath so that your leg's not just resting against things all the time.
I'm big on that.
Javon will pad it very, very well though.
She's
So
big on that. She's very.
or like lay on your side and just like put pillows between your legs
Yeah.
so that way it's not touching anything. But yeah, I mean the hardware all will stand. I mean the only reason that any of the hardware would have to be changed out is if the components were to loosen or the ankle replacement became an issue, which it's not going to, right? Because everything is going to go well. And this guy, like, in theory, if the plate ever bothered you, could we remove it? Yes. Do we have to? No. People break their ankles regularly, and some of that hardware will never come out. It will stay in the duration of their life.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I mean, you very much will probably have all of this in. You will keep it in.
I figured that was the case.
Yeah. And those screws are hard to get out. I mean,
I bet.
yeah, they take a lot of willpower to put in.
Right.
So, and sometimes we use power, but sometimes they like to just do everything by screwdriver. So,
It's
yeah.
like you're going
Isn't
to
that
there.
funny?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
like he's at his wood shop.
Yeah.
Only
And
it's,
this is like you with your heel basically up, so we're looking
okay.
underneath, so you can
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
wow. Yeah, that's what he said to me. He had it.
Yep.
Yeah,
So when we
yeah.
do the X-rays, when you come in, we will do probably this same view as well, in addition to getting X-rays of the ankle, so we can make sure that everything is healing.